On this how-to series, we're going to be working on half circle blocks. First, you'll need to cut out your template pieces that came with your pattern. I recommend tracing onto heavier cardstock or template plastic for durability. Trace and cut out 2 half circle shapes. Be mindful of any directional fabrics. Next up, we have our arch shapes. Following along with the cutting directions in the bead pattern, you can double up the arch shapes on your strip of fabric for less fabric waste. You will need 2 arches for your circle block. Use a rotary blade or scissors to cut out your shapes. Each circle block requires 2 half circle pieces and 2 arch background pieces. Begin by pressing your half circle shape in half wrong sides together. Take both ends of your curved piece and meet at the middle, crease, and press again, making a total of 3 creases. Do the same with your arch shape with right sides together, pressing creases in the middle and then meeting at the middle point to press the other 2 creases for a total of 3 creases. Place 1 half circle and 1 arch right sides together, matching up and nesting the 3 creases, starting with the middle crease and then pin in place following the directions in your pattern. With the arch piece on top, slowly stitch along the curved edge. Stretch the curve to match up the edges if needed. If you see any gathers or fabric starts to bunch up by the foot, stop and lift your presser foot without raising the needle. Adjust the fabric and continue sewing. You can also use a washable glue to secure your pieces together before sewing. Place a small dot of glue at all of the points where you would normally place a pin and set with heat. Add more dots of glue as needed to make sewing your curves easier. Once the glue is dry, and with the arch piece on top, slowly stitch along the curved edge. Stretch the curve to match up the edges if needed. If you see any gathers or fabric starts to bunch up by the foot, stop and lift the presser foot without raising the needle. Adjust the fabric and continue sewing. There are 3 options for pressing your seams. First up is pressing your seams towards the arch shape. This is one of the easiest directions to press and works out really well if you're using a darker background fabric. The next option for pressing your seams is pressing towards your half circle shape. You will want to press this direction if you are using a lighter background fabric. And finally, we have the option of pressing your seams open. This is a great option for all quilts, light or dark backgrounds. Pressing seams open also helps reduce bulky seams and might be a better option for working with thicker fabrics. Take the 2 halves and place right sides together, pinning along the side where the circle meets, matching up seams at both ends. Going to sew, joining both halves, and press your seams open to reduce bulk. Now it is time to trim our block down to 8.5 inches square. Line up the center seam of the block on your mat. Use a ruler to measure and trim excess from the first side, leaving 1/4 inch of your background fabric visible. As you flip your block around, make sure that everything is still lined up on your cutting mat and that you are still being careful to leave 1/4 inch of your background fabric visible. There might be a bit more of that visible on some of your sides, depending on how large your seam allowance was. When you're done, you'll have an 8.5 inch finished block.